This is JWH1969 doing a contest response video for Dr. Feelgood Kyle 1987. I guess it'd be Dr. Feelgood 1987 Kyle. Good friend of mine, and he had some requirements for the contest and then shooting a video answering 3 questions. So first question was favorite card or cards and the story behind it. I'll go ahead and show you both cards here in a minute. Both of them have the same story, so I'll go through it. I purchased collections, or at least I used to, back when, probably 15 years ago. I've slowed down a lot over the last several years, but buy collections, piece them out, keep what you want for PC, so on and so forth. Was in Shopko one day over in noon hour, and I was looking at cards, and a very young gentleman came up and asked me if I collected sports cards, and I said yes. And he said he had a bunch of old vintage cards his dad left him, and he really needed the cash. He wanted to sell some off, and so I was a little skeptical. So I told him where I worked and told him if he wanted to meet me there after work, I would take a look at what he had. He did show up. He told me he could not get into the storage shed where it was on that day, but tomorrow he would be able to. He didn't have the key with him, so I said, okay, well, you still know where I work. Meet me there, so on and so forth. So long story short, we drove over to the storage shed, and sure enough, he had oodles and oodles of sports cards, and it was just amazing. And if you can remember back that far, this would have been the late 90s. Not a lot of jerseys and autographs going on at that time, a lot of, inserts and so on and so forth. Well, he cracked open cards, and it was vintage stuff, and he had a box that was just high-end stuff, and I spent a lot of money with him. But 2 of the cards I picked up were key cards for my collection, and I've held on to them ever since. And these are cards that will be passed on to my daughter, and she can do whatever she wants to with them, but for me, they will just stay in my collection. As a matter of fact, to make this video, I actually had to run over to the safe and get these out so I could show them, because I just don't keep these laying around. The first one is a almost perfectly centered, sharp corners, sharp edges, beautiful coloring of Walter Payton. It's his rookie card, and this card is just immaculate. The back is off-centered a little bit from left to right, or top to bottom if you hold it this way, but just an absolutely gorgeous card. The second one is very similar to the same. It's a Michael Jordan, and it's authentic, it's original. I have not gotten these graded, but I guarantee you they are authentic. Michael Jordan auto, sharp corners. There's a little touch of white on the corner, but it's a sharp corner, it's just on the red border. But again, beautiful card. Is off-centered on the back from left to right, but just 2 absolutely gorgeous cards. And so those are my 2 favorite cards in my collection, and it's just interesting because I know this guy's dad probably went through a lot of spent a lot and went through a lot to keep these in his collection, and fortunately for me, they were able to fall into my collection. So those are my favorite cards. Favorite care package, that one's a tough one for me because there are so many generous YouTubers on YouTube. I mean, when I actually made a very short list off the top of my head of people who I've received care packages from, and I can't say I would put one ahead of the other, so I kind of did a diplomatic way on this one. But when I start thinking of people like Lynn Manspoken, or Matt Ward, or Roger Simplify, gosh, who else? Chris, Sleeper Racer, great friend of mine. Clay, Clevens 12, or Brad 8671. He just sent me a care package yesterday. Anthony, COD Ragemaster, another great kid. Very generous. Cowboy Like Me, one of the very first guys who ever sent me a care package and actually taught me how much fun it was to actually give and quit being so greedy. Kyle, Dr. Feelgood, of course, throw him in there. You have Card Cutter, or Card Seeker, Stephen, who I don't think's on here anymore, but another generous. And while I was on Card Cutter, Garrett. I mean, oh gosh, and then there's people like that have been off YouTube for a little while, like Football Cards Only Mike. He was one who really got me back hooked into this whole trading and watching out for other people and things. He was just an awesome guy, stationed in Germany, and or Frank B4980. Ended up meeting him through Mike. He's off YouTube now, but just an awesome person. As a matter of fact, I text him every now and then. Haven't done that for a while, which reminds me. Or I am 140. I mean, a class act guy. Jay Schmitty, one of the funniest guys on YouTube I've ever listened to. It's probably the reason I watch his videos so often. Kenny Geography, another just generous. I mean, they call him Mr. Karma for a reason. And Big VZ, TSDS, T5. I mean, or Nick with St. Fans Always, great guy. Or Wenzel, or you remember J.R. Briones, another just stellar YouTuber. And I mean, and that's not even touching those people like Mike. I mean, out of the blue, send me a Christmas package. And he has a new website. He's something like 2 ATX collectibles or something like that, or 62 chunk. I mean, out of the blue, just sent me something. Oh, I know I'm forgetting a whole bunch of people. So I do. Dominus Affinis, Ryan, another great guy. But what I did to kind of make this a little less political, and gosh, I'm already in 6 minutes, I decided to choose a couple cards that meant an awful lot to me from some people who are not on YouTube anymore. And I still stay in touch with them occasionally, and one of them more than the other. But this card, when this card showed up, it just blew me away. This was one of the coolest, neatest, sickest, absolutely amazing cards for my PC. I had seen this card once over the last 5 years, and all of a sudden it just shows up. So it was Johnny Rogers, Mike Rozier, Roger Craig, and Tommy Frazier, all on the same card, numbered to 48. And that one came from Kyle, Cack Fishing. He had some numbers behind his name. I think he still has a YouTube account. I just don't think he does anything. Just ended up sending that to me out of the blue. And I mean, talk about the excitement from a video when I ended up seeing that. And so I'm sure he knew what my response was going to be, and he didn't care what the expense of it was. He just ended up saying to me. The other one was probably the one that, I mean, you can watch the video. I couldn't even speak afterwards. I had no clue that somebody would do this. And so, not to top or anything else, but everybody knows I love my Hall of Famers. But if there's Hall of Famers that mean more to me than anything else, it's my Cowboy Hall of Famers. And when this ended up showing up, absolutely speechless. I mean, Mike is you guys know him as Purdue fan, ex-Purdue fan X, but just Mike ended up sending this, and it blew me away. It absolutely made my day, week, whatever. And I still pull this card out to take a look at it. Just incredible. So with that being said, I suppose I can give you something to look at while I finish up here. To finish up the response, how I got started on YouTube. I think it's been almost 5 years. I probably should have checked before I got on here. But I started YouTube quite a while back because I was getting out of trying to sell on eBay and collections and things like that, but I still had the bug, and we did not have a card shop down here at the time. And so I would get on YouTube and see what other people have, and I'd message somebody if they had something cool for my PC and try to work out a trade. And I didn't do much with videos right away, and then I started making videos and the old photo bucket / taking pictures of all your cards and putting them together in like a slideshow video. That's how I ended up starting, and it slowly evolved, but times in between I'd get bored and quit. And so the last time I probably quit for a good 6 months, almost a year. This last time though, I've had a lot of fun. Sometimes the drama on YouTube gets a little much, and so I take a break, or life gets busy like it is now, and I take a break. But shoot, I have too many friends on YouTube I try to stay in touch with, and so I haven't taken the break, and so I think I've been on here about the last 3 years straight now, collecting a lot of the same YouTubers still here, a lot of new ones, and can't wait to actually meet some of the new ones. And I've been watching video responses, just kind of smiling, thinking, yep, same guys I deal with, yep, same guys I deal with. And then every now and then I get a new name in there and thinking, you know, I really should check this guy out. I'm sure he's a great guy. But ended up getting on YouTube probably about 3 years ago, introduced to care packages at that time, and since then I've sent out my share of care packages, and after reflecting probably over the last couple weeks, I need to do more of that, and so I will start sending out the barrage hopefully within the next week or two, and get back into the fun part of collecting on YouTube. So Kyle, great contest. Thank you very much for the opportunity to go ahead and share all this. If you made it through 2 minutes and 20 seconds of this, that's pretty amazing. But Kyle, great contest. Thank you again. You guys take care, and thank you for making this a fun community to trade on.